I hit a 10-year-old with his own hoverboard. My little sister Bella has been blind since birth. She's 7 and she's never been to a birthday party because the noise and chaos scare her. But her best friend Andrea wouldn't stop asking her to come to her birthday party, and Bella finally caved. She wanted to be brave for once. I was the one who drove her since our parents couldn't. The whole ride she was bouncing in her seat thinking about ice cream cake. When we got there and I walked her into the backyard, she froze. 20 kids running and screaming everywhere. She grabbed my arm and whispered, "I got this." I told her I would stay just in case. Things were fine for the first 20 minutes. Bella found Andrea and they sat together eating chips and laughing. I stayed off to the side trying not to hover. Then I noticed this kid staring at her. He was maybe 10, riding around on a hoverboard like he owned the place. He rolled up to Bella and waved his hand in front of her face. She didn't react. He looked back at his friends and laughed. I started walking over, but he rode off before I got there. A few minutes later, he came back. This time, he started circling her on the hoverboard, slow at first, then faster. Bella's head was turning, trying to follow the sound. She looked confused and got dizzy. Andrea asked him to stop, but he ignored her. I stepped in and said, "Hey, find somewhere else to ride that thing." He looked at me like I was boring him and said, "I'm just playing dude." I said, "Play somewhere else." He rolled his eyes and rode off. I asked Bella if she was okay. She nodded and said, "I'm fine. He's just annoying." I walked back to my spot but kept watching him. 5 minutes later, he was back with 2 other kids. They started circling her together, calling out, "Guess where I am?" while she spun around trying to track them. The other kids at the party were watching now. Some of them were laughing. Bella wasn't smiling anymore. I pushed through and pulled her out of the circle. I looked at the kid and said, "I'm not asking again. Leave her alone or we're gonna have a problem." He put his hands up like I was crazy and said, "Relax, bro. It's a game." I took Bella to a bench away from everyone. She was shaking a little. I told her those kids were jerks and she didn't do anything wrong. She said, "I know. I just wanted to have fun." That broke my heart. A few minutes later, the kid rode past us with his friends. He said loud enough for Bella to hear, "Why does she even come outside? She can't see anything anyway." His friends laughed. Bella went quiet. She didn't say anything, but I saw her face fall. I was about to get up and say something when Bella grabbed my arm. She whispered, "Please don't. I don't want to ruin Andrea's party." I sat back down. Every part of me was screaming, but I stayed put for her. I told her we could leave whenever she wanted. She shook her head and said, "I want to be here for Andrea." I turned around for 1 second to throw away her plate. 1 second. He yelled right inside her ear so loud she tried to run and she tripped on a chair. Bella was on the ground. Her hands were scraped and bleeding. She was sobbing with her hands covering her face, and he was laughing, pointing at her. Other kids were laughing too. Andrea was nowhere to be found. He said, "Why is she so scared? I didn't even touch her." Then he looked at me. "I didn't do anything. Not my fault she can't see." Something in me snapped. I walked up to him and said, "You want to know what's funnier?" He was still laughing when I grabbed the hoverboard right out from under his feet. He stumbled and hit the ground, stopped laughing immediately. He yelled, "Hey, that's mine!" Before he could get up, I swung it and hit him in the side, hard. He made this sound I'd never heard a kid make before, something between a scream and a gasp. Then he started crying. The whole party went silent. Every parent, every kid, just staring at me. My parents started calling me a monster. One mom said I should be arrested. I dropped the hoverboard next to him and walked back to Bella. I picked her up off the ground and held her as she cried. Someone told me his parents are on their way. I sat on the curb with Bella and waited. His parents pulled up fast. His dad stormed over and said, "Did you hit my son?" I looked him in the eyes and said, "Yes." He stared at me for a long second. Then he nodded and said, "Good. He needs a good ass whooping."